Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1773. That one. Everyone getting us closer to 1826, which will be the end of 5 years of doing this daily. So, and tonight we are talking about How to Marry a Millionaire from 1953. That is the movie we got to watch last night. Had an awesome day today. Got to mastermind today, which was amazing. So yeah, I'm still a little on fire from that one. I've been working on projects that came out of the mastermind. But anyway, so How to Marry a Millionaire with Marilyn Monroe, Betty Grable, and Lauren Bacall. Great movie, very entertaining. I haven't seen it in ages. Last night I was talking about the thought that I thought it was a musical. It was not a musical. The reason I thought it was a musical was because I thought the song Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend was in there, but the line was in there, but not the song. And you're probably going, what? So there is a scene where Marilyn Monroe comes out in a bathing suit that's got diamonds on it. And as she comes out, they're talking about the bathing suit and how it's got diamonds on it because diamonds are a girl's best friend. So the song was actually quoted, just that one line, in the movie yesterday, which is probably why I kept thinking it was a musical, thinking diamonds are a girl's best friend. So that's probably what I was thinking about. But anyway, great movie. I love it. It's about these three women who end up living in this expensive penthouse in New York, right in downtown area. Actually, they even show the street signs at the beginning. I totally forgot what that was. But anyway, so one of them goes in and rents the place. It's this, and they're able to get it reasonable. They're able to get it because the guy that lives there is actually on the run from the IRS. He had given the money to his accountant to pay his taxes, and the accountant scarpered with the money and said that he never got paid. So that's why they're able to get the apartment. So Lauren Bacall's character, Mrs. Page, then calls Marilyn Monroe's character, whose name just totally escapes me right now, and gets her to come up. And Marilyn Monroe plays a girl who's like blind as a bat unless she has her glasses on. So it gets quite amusing when she starts walking off in different directions. She bumps into things, bumps into people, all of that. And then Betty Grable is a friend of Marilyn's, and all three of them are models. And so Betty Grable's character is a friend of Marilyn Monroe's character. And so the two girls, Lauren Bacall and Marilyn Monroe's characters, are talking together, and she says, "Oh, I've got a third," and tells her to bring up, to get lunch on them. She says, "Well, how much money you got?" And she goes, "$25." And is talking to Betty Grable on the phone, and she goes, "Okay, we'll bring lunch with you." And Lauren Bacall's like, "What sort of lunch is she going to bring us with $25?" And Marilyn Monroe turns and says, "She's very creative." You'd be surprised. She's very creative. And she turns up with this guy, nice looking guy and all that, and 2 sacks of groceries. He ended up paying for all their groceries, and she's going on about how embarrassed she was that she only had $25 on her. And that kind of just sets the scene for everything. And so they're trying to attract these guys, and they end up going to this oil conference expo thing, meeting up with these people that were at the oil convention thing that they were at. And it's just a lot of good comedy. It's a good story. It's just very lighthearted. And after watching The Longest Day the night before, and tonight we're watching Lawrence of Arabia, it was just a very nice lighthearted fit to go in between two very long movies. So Longest Day is, hang on, I got to remember how long Longest Day is. It's just under 3 hours. It's 2 hours and 58 minutes. And Lawrence of Arabia, the version that I'm watching, is 3 hours and 37 minutes. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So great movie. Have you seen How to Marry a Millionaire? If not, go check it out. There is no singing in it. Unfortunately, there's some piano playing in there. But it's just a good lighthearted movie, comedy of errors in some places, and just interesting who they all end up with. And their goal is to marry a millionaire. Do they end up marrying millionaires or not? So you got to watch it to find out at the end. So that's that one. And that was it's just a movie I've always enjoyed that one. Tonight's movie is Lawrence of Arabia. And I was looking up about this, and because I knew nothing about it except that there's a lot of desert involved in it. Desert and camels. That's all I knew about it. I had no clue what it was about. But what it is about, it's about the story of T.E. Lawrence, and this is actually based on a true person. Where is it? Hang on, I gotta. Yeah, so T.E. Lawrence was a true person. He lived from 1888 to 1935. This movie came out in 1962. And basically, he was an English officer in World War I who successfully united and led a diverse Arab tribes in order to fight the Turks. And when I was reading about this, I thought, oh, let's go down and have a look at the trivia stuff, because the trivia stuff's always cool. If you scroll down, there's different trivia stuff that's there. There's goofs and credits and versions, and there's a did you know section in IMDb. I love the did you know section. So this movie, when it came out, was actually banned in many Arab countries because they felt Arab historical figures and the Arab people were misrepresented. But Omar Sharif, who stars in the movie, arranged a viewing with the president, Gamal, I'm probably going to screw up his name, and I apologize, Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt, to show him there was nothing wrong with what they were, with how they were, with the way they were portrayed. Nasser loved the movie and allowed it to be released in Egypt, where it went on to become a monster hit. So interesting. And but you've got Peter O'Toole in this movie. He plays Lawrence. There's Alec Guinness is in there. For those who don't know Alec Guinness, if you've seen Star Wars and you've seen Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars movie, that is Alec Guinness. Anthony Quinn's in there, Jack Hawkins, Omar Sharif, and a whole bunch of other people. Those first five are the ones the names I know. The rest of them, I have no clue who they are, but they're in there anyway. Let's see. So they're talking about alternative versions. And I was like, alternative versions? There's like technically four versions of the movie. So the original 222-minute print, then cut to 202 minutes after its 1962 premiere, the 187-minute 1970 theatrical recut, and then the 228-minute, including the overture, the is that word that I never get right? Entr'acte, which basically that bit after the intermission, and the play-out music in the 1988 restoration. Full details as follows. Original release at 222 minutes for the UK premiere in December of 1962. Shortly after the premiere, which took place in London in December of 1962, David Lean reportedly, under the orders of the producer, Sam Spiegel, cut 20 minutes from the film to 202 minutes. Cuts included the shot of goggles on the tree. I'm going to look out for the goggles on the tree now. Brighton's remarkable man line to the priest. Early shots of the drafting rooms scene, and the whole officer's mess sequence where he's called a clown and upsets water on someone, and some dialogue between the general and Dryden. In the 1970 theatrical re-release cut of the film, cut the film further to 187 minutes. The film was restored in 1988 to 228 minutes. Hang on, that's more than what it started with. Hang on, it started with 222 minutes, and in 1988 they restored it at 228 minutes. That's 6 minutes more than what it started. Okay, this version, supervised by David Lean, was advertised as the director's cut and has been the version made available to home video formats ever since. So I looked at that and went, okay, so it tells me that the runtime on my version that I have is 3 hours and 37 minutes. And if I do the math, that comes out at 217 minutes, which is 5 minutes less than the original movie at 222 minutes. So this is not the director's cut. It is not the one from 1988. I'm confused because it doesn't mention a 217. Oh, shush. It doesn't mention a 217-minute version in there. So I have no clue. I'll just see what time it starts, work out what time it finishes, and I'll let you know tomorrow night. But I'm looking forward to seeing that, because this is, I didn't realize that it was based on a true story. So I am very interested, and I love movies that are based on true stories. So I am really looking forward to seeing this one, and or the desert and the camels. And apparently somewhere in there he goes against orders. Lawrence goes against the orders. Oh yeah, due to his knowledge of the native tribes, British Lieutenant T. Lawrence is sent to Arabia to find Prince Faisal, that's played by Alec Guinness, and serve as the liaison between the Arabs and the British in their fight against the Turks. With the aid of the native Sharif Ali, Lawrence rebels against the orders of his superior officer and strikes out on a daring camel journey across the harsh desert to attack a well-guarded Turkish port. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that, because I'm interested in the timeline of when this took place. And you're probably going, why are you interested in the timeline when this took place, Helen? Because on April 25th, 1915 is when the Australian New Zealand Army Corps, known as Anzacs, invaded Gallipoli. And of course, Gallipoli is part of Turkey. So I'm curious to see which part of Turkey these guys were invading, and what timeline, when in World War I did they invade. Did they do this in comparison to when the Anzacs were hitting Gallipoli? So I'm kind of curious to see if it was the same timeline, if they're getting attacked from two different directions, or were they two separate different battles that took place at different times during World War I? So I'm going to go do some research on this before I go and watch the movie, and then I'm going to report back to you guys tomorrow night on that one. So with that, it's like 40 degrees Celsius outside, which is like 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, we're going to go for a walk. Because if I leave it too long, it means I'm going to be finishing the movie too late, and I'll probably end up falling asleep, which would not be good. Been falling asleep lately when it's bedtime. Body knows when it's time to go to bed, and it starts shutting down. Yeah, so it's 40 degrees Celsius out there right now, which is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, we're about to go for a walk in that. Zeffie, can you just go in the backyard, please, and just run around and do your stuff there? No, she's laying on the floor behind me. It would be nice if there were times when I could let her go out in the backyard and she just runs around and goes crazy and does her thing and then comes back inside, so we don't have to go for a walk, especially when the heat's like this. But the only time she'll ever go in the backyard is in the middle of the night, or if something's upset her stomach. Those are the only two times that she will do anything in the backyard. Any of her business will get done in the backyard. It's during those times. Otherwise, we got to go for a walk. So I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to hydrate, and actually somewhere around I actually have the necktie things that go on that keep you cold, but I don't think I've got any ready to go just yet. But I've got ones that go around your neck, and I've got little dog ones which go around their neck, and I tuck it inside her in her harness on her chest. And so maybe I'll see if I can find that. And actually we don't have any cold water. This is the problem in my house. We were talking with the neighbors about it last night, because they have the same problem in their house, is that during the summertime, you really don't have any cold water unless you put it in a jug or a drinking vessel with some ice. Ice is all melted. Because the sink in the kitchen is on the outside wall. It gets hot here. Yes, 104 degrees outside right now. It heats up the water pipes in the wall, and so therefore you're getting hot water through on the cold. And sometimes it is scorching hot. It comes out of there pretty hot. I'm going to get a thermometer one day and actually put it under the water just to see how hot it gets. And even if you run it for 10 minutes, you're still going to get hot water. That's on that wall. I have two bathrooms. One's on the outside wall on the house, and one on the inside of the house. And on inside walls and all of that, same problem with the cold water. It comes out hot. In the mornings when I get back from walks and I go to take a shower, I was telling them, I says, off is at 6 o'clock. On in the wintertime, it's around between 2 and 3. So for those that don't know, if you're referring to a clock, so 6 o'clock straight down is where the handle goes. If you are turning it on, you position it between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, somewhere around there, and that's my shower in the wintertime. In the summertime, it's like around 5 o'clock. like I barely turn it on. I put it on between 4 and 5. And I still have a hot shower in the middle of summer. I've come back from being outside in 80-degree weather. It's already in the 80s by the time we go for a walk, which is in the 30s for those back in New Zealand. 30 degrees, it's in the 30 degrees Celsius range when we go for a walk in the morning. So I come back hot, sweaty, would love to have a cold shower. And during the summertime, we just don't get one. We do not get a cold shower. Unless you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning before the sun's even come up, you might be able to get some cold water coming through the cold. You may be able to get some cold water coming through. But yes, it's kind of interesting. We have a shortage of cold water during the summertime, even on my refrigerator, which is on an inside wall in my kitchen. That has hot water going through the filtration system, which is why when I'm filling up this container or I'm filling up Zeffy's water bowl, there's ice that goes in there. And by the time, if the water's down in this area here, I fill it up with ice to about here, and then fill the rest up with the water from the filtration system in the door of the fridge. By the time I fill it up to here, the ice is almost melted. Just to give you some idea of how hot that water is that's coming out of here. So yeah, it's a challenge. But I always make sure I put ice into Zeffy's water bowl as well. It's just to cool it down because I don't want her having to try and drink hot water. She kind of doesn't like that. Anyway, so we're off to watch go for a walk so we can get back early and watch Lawrence of Arabia. We still have to have dinner tonight. I don't even know what we're going to have. We'll figure it out while I'm on the walk. I'll run through everything. Maybe I'll just do some eggs. Oh, no, hang on. I had that for lunch. I have to figure out something else. I think I have some quinoa. Might have some quinoa left, so I might do that. But anyway, that's it. We're out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. If you have seen How to Marry a Millionaire, let us know your thoughts in the comment about the movie. What's some of your favorite scenes in there? If you have seen Lawrence of Arabia, let us know in the comments what you think of the movie, what some of your favorite scenes are in there as well. And we will report back tomorrow night about Lawrence of Arabia. And I'm going to go do some research about his timing on hitting the ports in Turkey. If it was the same time or a different campaign to when the Anzacs were hitting Gallipoli in April of 1915. So go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. Hey, konara.